The Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme completes 9 years today. The flagship scheme of the UPA promised 100 days of work a year to rural households. But now its survival and success depends on how much the new government is willing to invest in its future.
For 18 months, Pantho Munda worked on building a well in his village in Jharkhand under the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Initially, the payments were regular, but for the last 7 months, he has made repeated, unsuccessful trips to government offices every other day to the same response: lack of funds. 3,000 rupees may seem like a small amount, but for Munda and his family of 7, it could make the difference between having enough for a few meals or going hungry to bed.
हाल पैसे नहीं मिलेला तो का करबा वाले काम के छोड़ देले बाप का खाए के जाबा गरीब आदमी हिसाब से 3,000 रुपया निकलेला बाकी एक पैसा नहीं मिला है मांगता है जाए के बाकी कहता रहिए थोड़ा पैसा निकलेगा तो देगा क्या बोलेगा.
His desperation has pushed him to take up daily menial work just to make ends meet, and he isn't the only one. Like Munda, many in Jharkhand's poorest villages were hoping to benefit from the Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, launched in 2005 by the Congress-led UPA government, that promised 100 days of work a year to rural households. A decade later, it has helped rural India create productive assets, even empowered women in the villages, and increased economic security to a vast majority of rural poor. But the question of funding is one of its biggest concerns. In the last 10 years, at its highest, the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme cost 0.8% of the GDP, a figure that's now grossly reduced to just 0.3% of India's GDP. Over the years, state governments have not got enough funds to implement the program, reason why pending liabilities have been increasing from over 2,000 crore rupees in 2011-12 to over 5,900 crore rupees in 2013-14. The uncertainty over timely payment has also increased. In 2012-13, 61% payments were made within the first 15 days. In this fiscal, only 28% payments have been made in that same time frame.
As far as NREGA is concerned, I think it's very much of a mixed bag. When the act was being discussed is about corruption and whether we could afford it. You know, there were concerns that this would bomb the budget, etc. Those concerns have now been can be set aside. In 2007-8, about 50% of the wages were not reaching people. I mean, they were showing up in government accounts, but they were not being reported by people. That figure has now improved to about 70 to 80%.
A concern that has been reflected in the letters written to the centre by chief ministers of states like Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Odisha and West Bengal, among others. It was a flagship scheme of UPA 1, but its survival and success now depends on how much the new government is willing to invest in its future. With Hariban Sharma in Jharkhand, in New Delhi, Ketki Angara for NDTV.